This is the Sabbath School lesson for the second quarter, 2021.
Friday, April 2. Further thought. The Bible overflows with calls to sinners and backsliders. We're going to compare several verses here. Psalm 95, verses 7 and 8. For he is our God, and we are the people of his pasture, and the sheep of his hand. Today, if you will hear his voice, he will not harden your hearts as in the rebellion, as in the day of trial in the wilderness. And Isaiah 55, verses 1 and 2, Ho, everyone who thirsts, come to the waters, and you who have no money, come buy and eat. Yes, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Why do you spend money for what is not bread, and your wages for what does not satisfy? Listen carefully to me, and eat what is good, and let your soul delight itself in abundance. And verses 6 and 7, Seek the Lord while he may be found, call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return to the Lord, and he will have mercy on him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. And Luke 15, verses 3 to 7, So he spoke this parable to them, saying, What man of you, having 100 sheep, if he loses one of them, does not leave the 99 in the wilderness, and go after the one which is lost, until he finds it? And when he has found it, he lays it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he comes home, he calls together his friends and neighbours, saying to them, Rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep which was lost. I say to you that likewise there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 just persons who need no repentance. And Luke 19, verse 10, For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which was lost. What others can you find? From the book The Treasury of the Bible, the Old Testament, by Charles Haddon Spurgeon, page 11 in Volume 1, we read, There was a gospel sermon, I think, in those 3 divine words as they penetrated the dense part of the thicket and reached the tingling ears of the fugitives. Where art thou? Thy God is not willing to lose thee. He is come forth to seek thee, just as by and by he means to come forth in the person of his Son, not only to seek, but to save that which now is lost. End of quote. And that brings us to our 3 discussion questions for this week. 1. Because the kind and caring God is the one who seeks humankind, how can we respond to this expression of love by the Father and Jesus Christ even now? How does the Lord expect us to respond? 2. Contrast the biblical picture of humankind as fallen from a lofty place in God's creation and in need of redemption with the evolutionary theory of development. What offers more hope and why? And 3. How essential are loving relationships to human happiness? Why is a flourishing connection to God necessary to such relationships? Discuss the influence of healthy human relationships on the persons in those relationships, parent-child, friend-to-friend, husband-to-wife, employer-to-employee, etc. And so to summarize this week's lesson, God created us in his own image so that a loving fellowship could exist between him and us. Although the entrance of sin shattered the original union, God seeks to restore this relationship through the plan of redemption. Life for us as dependent creatures takes on true meaning and clarity only when we enter into union with our Creator. Inside Story. Our mission story this week is titled First Deaf Theology Student, and it's by Jose Rodrigo Martinez Patron. My Seventh-day Adventist mother noticed that I, as a baby, did not respond to sounds in our home in Mérida, Mexico. She would call my name, and I did not notice. Mother sought help when I was about 2. She sent me to a special needs school that taught me sign language and how to speak. My teacher taught me the sounds of letters and words. I put my hand to her throat when she spoke and then tried to replicate the sound with my own throat. My mother cried because her son couldn't hear her voice. "Don't worry," the teacher said. "Have patience. Everything will work out fine." I attended the special needs school for 2 hours every day. I also studied at an Adventist school for 2 hours daily. The church school taught me how to read and write, and most important, it taught me about God. I attended the Adventist school up to the age of 8, but the school didn't have teachers who knew sign language, so Mother ended up sending me to a public school with teachers who could communicate with me. The first time that I met other Adventist young people with hearing impairments was at a church-organised conference at Linda Vista Adventist University. It was wonderful to mingle with other Adventist young people with the same needs as mine. I was invited to attend the annual conference again in 2 years. Then the Inter-American Division organised its first special needs conference and held the event at Montemorelos University in Monterrey, Mexico. At the conference, a desire grew in me to serve God as a pastor, but how? I could never afford the tuition. As the conference concluded, University President Ismael Castillo made a surprising announcement. "Do any of you want to study here?" he asked. He offered a full scholarship for the tuition. I understood then that God was calling me to be a pastor, and I stood up. I am the first deaf theology student at Montemorelos University. This is my 2nd year at the university. It is difficult because no one knows sign language. I concentrate hard and try to read the teacher's lips. I failed several classes my first year, and I have to retake those classes. I have led several evangelistic meetings for the hearing impaired, including in Mexico City. Churches with deaf people invite me to preach. I have a huge desire in my heart to graduate and serve as a pastor. I dream about going to the mission field, perhaps to Spain as a missionary to the hearing impaired. Please pray for the hearing impaired. We all have dreams. We are willing to do big things for the Lord. And there's a photo of Jose Rodrigo Martinez, patron, to our left here, a handsome-looking young man. This quarter's 13th Sabbath offering will help open a missionary training center at Montemorelos University in Mexico. This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. It's supported by the Sabbath School Department and Hope Channel Australia and is rebroadcast by Christian Record Services and through podcasts at It Is Written in the United States, Hope Channel Germany, and through Apple iTunes and SoundCloud. Remember, God is always faithful.